Hold up. Mic good, levels good. Let me adjust this. Hold on. Where's my music at? Where's my music at? Happy Friday, man. Grand Rising, good people. We're gonna have an amazing AM together. Get that right. Lucille is already in the building. Lucille with the first comment. Dang, I ain't even get mine out, Lucille. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Grand Rising, Lucille. How's your week? Matter of fact, how's your week going to finish? I should say. How's your week gonna finish up? Not how's it been going? How's it gonna finish up? How you gonna act today, tomorrow to finish it up strong? Oh, hey, big bro, we're gonna dang, I meant to text you just now, but I had to jump on here. We're gonna talk about it. If whatever you open it talking about, I kind of wrote down a couple notes as far as our combo, like, you know, what's the answer? You know, how can we get some help? How I thought that you were you wanted to save all these victims and stuff, but we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk more so about some of the stuff that we were discussing last time, because I put up a couple clips from Wednesday's show, and people were triggered. People were triggered, especially when it came to the protection of women. So we're gonna talk about that. I got a few other videos that I need to share. I believe I didn't do a good job of catching up on everybody's videos, so I may miss some. Matter of fact, there was one that, let me actually go to the one now that Ant sent me to make sure that I got that one. Hold on one sec.
It's a game I play with my sons. I sat them down and I said, you guys matter more to each other than I matter to you. Why, Daddy? Because you guys are going to be in each other's lives more than I'm going to be in your life. One of the brothers says,
that's the one. Oh, that's a good one, Ed. Wait, come on. Put my music back on. All right, got that saved. We are good to go. As you're coming in, please make sure that you're hitting the like button. Maybe share with a friend. And on Monday, we should be... Actually, I'm going back and forth on whether or not we should go live on Instagram in here. Nah. I'm not about to roast you at all. I'm about to just ask people's opinions. I was thinking about it as well, and I don't know. So be prepared to just kind of explain your ideas, because honestly, there's no roasting when it comes to, when you know it comes from a strong, good place. So we are on the same page with that. Boom, 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 boom. And what else did Big Bro write? And I can't wait to get to the protection of women. Well, we'll get there early, so you will not have to wait long. We're also so we kind of got, like I said, today talk about a few different topics. You know, we still got a couple different, you know, it's Hot Topic Fridays. We jump around a little bit. Also doing something. I got a little Friendly Friday, showing some appreciation to some good people. And so yeah, we're gonna start off with talking about like marriage, protection with women. Then we're gonna talk about how a lot of these problems that we have, that we think are, you know, isolated. When I say we, I'm talking about Black people, that we think are isolated for Black people. We see them affecting other cultures as well in America. They just affect us more. So they better watch out too, because it can happen to them but we're going to get into that. And then we're going to get into a little bit with Dion, in college football, him taking over, like literally taking over college football. Some coaches mad. How do we feel, now that he's doing well, not at Jackson State? Then I got how to save black folk, because Tafari, him and I were having a conversation on that. And then I wanted to finish it off with transgenders. I believe in Texas, they banned transgender women from playing sports. So we're just going to update y'all a little bit. But first, as always, or as most times, we got a little reading. So we have a little reading. It's not too much. This is from actually the second chapter, Neville Goddard. This is the Awakened Imagination. This is chapter 2. So we're just going to read a couple paragraphs from the first and second page. And it's funny, as I'm reading this, I realize, I don't know if y'all, hold on. Queez, shout out to Queez in the building. I'm not sure that's a fact. They are not women. It's a fact. It is what it is. Trans women are not women. Sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It is what it is. But you can still have your own category. It's just different. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm not light skinned. It is what it is. Like, just I'm cool. So I don't know. But all right. So this particular chapter, as I'm reading it, I'm realizing, like, yo, they getting more and more into religion, more and more into Christianity. And as I'm reading it, like, I definitely didn't feel that energy in the beginning. So I'm not Christian. So therefore, for me, I'm able to kind of just read it, hear it, understand it, listen to it, take the game that I can from it. And we should be able to learn from anything. So I don't want to, turn anybody on, off, whatever, but, hear it out. Like I always say, take from it what's going to benefit you and leave what doesn't. So chapter 2, sealed instructions from the Awakened Imagination. Let's get to it. The first power that meets us at the threshold of the soul's domain is the power of imagination. I was first made conscious of the power, nature, and redemptive function of imagination through the teachings of my friend Abdullah. And through subsequent experiences, I learned that Jesus was a symbol of the coming of imagination to man, that the test of his birth in man was the individual's ability to forgive sin. That is, his ability to identify himself or another with his aim in life. Without the identification of man with his aim, the forgiveness of sin is an impossibility, and only the Son of God can forgive sin. Therefore, man's ability to identify himself with his aim through reason and his senses deny it, is proof of the birth of Christ in him. To passively surrender to appearances and bow before the evidence of facts is to confess that Christ is not yet born in you. Although, damn. Ugh. Hold up. We got to get back to that. Hold on. We got to read that last one. To passively surrender to appearances and bow before the evidence of facts is to confess that Christ is not yet born in you. We're gonna circle back to that. Although this teaching shocked and repelled me at first, for I was a convinced and earnest Christian and did not then know that Christianity could not be inherited by the mere accident of birth, but must be consciously adopted as a way of life. It stole later on, through visions, mystical revelations, and practical experiences, into my understanding and found its interpretation in a deeper mood. But I must confess that it is a trying time when those things are shaken, which one has always taken for granted. All right. Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Mark 13:2. All right, one more paragraph. Bear with me. Not one stone of literal understanding will be left after one drinks the water of psychological meaning. All that has been built up by natural religion is cast into the flames of mental fire. Yet, what better way is there to understand Christ Jesus than to identify the central character of the Gospels with human imagination, knowing that every time you exercise your imagination lovingly on behalf of another, you are literally mediating God to man, and thereby feeding and clothing Christ Jesus, and that whenever you imagine evil against another, you are literally beating and crucifying Christ Jesus. Every imagination of man is either the cup of cold water or the sponge of vinegar to the parched lips of Christ. I need some chapstick. All right, so, and then the last sentence, let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. All right, so I want to circle back to that passage that moved me, that sentence that moved me. So therefore, man's ability to identify himself with his aim through reason, though reason and his senses deny it. So he's identifying himself with his aim, though reason and his senses deny it, is proof of the birth of Christ in him. To passively surrender to appearances and bow before the evidence of facts is to confess that Christ is not yet born in you. All right. What does that do, Lucille? For the Bible readers, for the the true Christians, y'all got to tell me, what does that do for you? Because I'll tell you how it moves me. For me, it tells me that I'm not letting any perceived obstacle, challenge that looks like it's in my way, that looks like it's going to be one of these monumental tasks that I won't be able to accomplish. All these different things, no matter what's in my way, when you trust your purpose, when you trust my plan, when I'm trusting all these different things, there's nothing that can stop me from accomplishing my purpose and accomplishing my goals. So that's what I see. And the ability to still believe with all these things stacked up against us, that's what they're saying is the God in us, the Christ in us, whatever you want to call it, the creator in us. So damn, that's a real one for me. So it's not just about, I guess it still comes back to knowing, to trusting instead of believing. We talk about belief a lot, but nah, when you know something, it's stronger than belief. Belief is when you don't know it. And when you don't know it, you can't assume it. So all those imaginations that we're having, creative things that we're bringing up to solve different issues that we may be facing, if we don't know, then we will never have the confidence to implement them when big challenges face us. So that's what I took from it. Hopefully y'all took something great from it as well. Let me make sure that I catch up. Lucille wrote, good morning, happy Friday, beautiful and loving people from the light. We appreciate the light. One sec. Let me blow my nose. Y'all know how this goes. Y'all know how this goes. In the morning, I take my shower and then the cold air. Give me a sec. Still looking for a natural herb or a natural supplement that we can use for these allergies. So y'all let us know. But let's get all right. So this is what we're gonna do. So on Wednesday, we had a conversation about the protection of women. We had that conversation, and I'm gonna show y'all. I put part of that conversation on Instagram and YouTube, and that was the one that got the most looks, both on YouTube and Instagram. Not really surprised, but there was a lot of back and forth as far as when it came to the protection of women. And actually, before we get into that, we're gonna get right into that, and then we're gonna segue into the overall topic, which is marriage. And it's like, damn, is marriage really that bad to where we just constantly run from it? By all means. So I'm gonna show you guys what I've put out to the world, and we're gonna discuss a little bit about what the reaction is, because I think the protection of women, I think that's worth another conversation. And I think that for a lot of us, we're getting because we're getting triggered by the conversation, that it's putting us in a negative space, or it's not allowing us to truly understand what one side is saying. So let me show y'all the video I posted. All right, here we go. So hopefully y'all can see some of the comments as well. Let me make sure that it's showing. Is this the one? Yeah, this is it. Look at my page, man. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna look at it again. maybe go through some of the comments and get y'all feedback. All right, so here we go.
Talk that women anymore. And that's because men aren't supposed to protect women. A man is supposed to protect a woman.
What do you mean by that?
Now, if you want to be strong and independent and not have a husband there and have a man's protection, be under a man's covering, that is your problem. My husband signed up to protect me, not you. He signed up to protect me and the children. He is not jumping in front of a bullet. He is not putting himself in danger to make sure you are okay, so he could possibly lose his life and leave me alone with the kids. That would never occur to him. So I'm sorry. Why don't you pick a husband, get the protection you feel you deserve so badly, and solve your own problem? Because it's not my husband's. So I've been...
Well. There you have it. And I wanted to share a couple. I feel like I'm all off center. All right, so I wanted to share a couple of the comments. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. I feel like I'm a little off center. There we go. All right, so I wanted to share a few of the comments and then get, of course, y'all comments. But I'm hold on. Bro, get the... All right, there we go. Sorry, my camera was acting funny. So with this topic, it's one of those things, and I'm laughing because people seem to take it in whatever way that they're applying and attaching to their personal lives. So, and one of the things that I realized that the women that tend to complain about the protection of women and women not being protected, this is just my experience, are more of the strong and self-proclaimed independent women. My friends that I hear complaining about this, or women that I see complaining about this topic, it doesn't tend to be the soft, more feminine women that have no problem, living in their feminine space. So I just wanted to, say that. And is it like are we just missing something when it comes to the fact that we should just be, jumping out the window to protect women, to protect a group of people that, for one, you hear them say that they don't necessarily need protection on one end, but then it's like you do need protection. But what should a man's perspective be on this? What should a man's perspective be on this? Because then I have to play the other video, because when we got into the protection, then you have to look at it as far as what we were discussing last week, where it's like, okay, if you want to be protected, then there has to be a certain level of control, right? And shout out to Ant and Kiki, they just got in the building. So we're just going over this last video. We got a lot of feedback from posting it on our Instagram page. So we figured that we would kind of continue this conversation. And so let me get into some of the comments. All right. So one of my homegirls, what did she write? She wrote, so why aren't more men taught to control their emotions, keep their hands to themselves, and that a woman is not an object placed on this planet that owes them pleasantries? So first off, like am I missing something as far as us not constantly holding men accountable? And it's funny for her, I actually wrote out an entire response, but it got deleted, and then I wrote out half of it, and I was like, I don't even feel like I copied it in my phone. I was like, I'll respond later. But it's funny how these posts or these comments, it's only on certain posts where, I just put up a couple days ago where we were talking about how a lot of women don't want to submit to men because the men aren't putting themselves in a position to where they can be trusted as a leader. They need to be more disciplined, more for all these different things that we were discussing before. But she didn't post that. She didn't comment on that. She didn't like that one. She didn't repost that one. But something like this, as soon as you touch on critiquing women in any way, or calling you in your situation out, because people think that you're speaking directly to them, like you're talking directly to them, just because they fall into that category of not necessarily being married, of wanting to be independent, of wanting to go out here and dress however you want to dress, and not being able to have anybody say anything to you. You want that, cool. So there's pros and cons that come with it. So hold on, let me keep going. She wrote, so unless a woman is married, she can't expect to be protected. Funny when we are the main ones marching for black men when things happen to black men. What do y'all think, man? Tafari, Ant, what we thinking? Hold on, let me see. Tafari wrote, your girl, yo, your girl sounds dumb. We are here to please each other. How else did we effing get here? Yo, that's a good point. Do you think, I guess we have to ask that question. Do most people think that part of our purpose as men and women is to be with each other? Like, do y'all acknowledge that, or do y'all believe that, or do you push against it to the point where it's like, being single to me is not natural. Being independent is not natural. Depending on each other for different things, that's natural to me. That's working as a team. That's doing all those things. So is it, am I just seeing it off? Am I seeing it wrong? All right, so let's go to a couple more of the comments. Hold on. Yo, there was one that was on it. All right, so hold on. All right, so Nina Simone, she wrote, so if something is happening to her and her husband is nowhere around and they have men standing there, so correct me if I'm wrong, then those men shouldn't come to their aid, to her aid. And then you see this other dude, he's probably a simp, just saying, right. So, and you know, and be careful of believing a lot of these men that just on here agreeing with y'all. Those are the main men that if something does happen, they're not standing in the way. They're not helping. They're not jumping in a situation. They're just here to agree with y'all. Like, they're not even trying to understand the actual point of it. You know, how about we just try to get married? Is that just too bad of a thing? Like, if the world was really that dangerous out here, we wouldn't even be having to encourage people to get married. You would do it out of necessity. So relax. Like, we got these dudes, man, just be jumping out the window to save these chicks. All right, so this is my response. I think you're using an exception to try to argue a rule, but I'll entertain it anyway because hers was a bit extreme as well. In the situation you described, that's on those particular men and that particular situation. Let me ask you this. How many times have you heard of a situation where a man intervenes in an argument between a man and a woman, and then it escalates and someone dies or someone gets hurt? That same woman that the man was standing up for will still be riding for the dude she was having an altercation with. Meanwhile, dude who was trying to play hero did it for no reason and lost his life. Yeah. And then I wrote, I think you're using an anomaly to argue a point rather than trying to understand what she's saying. It's a man's primary duty to protect his woman and family. That's who he's agreed to take responsibility for. We live in a society in which she clearly addressed that women want to be single and independent. Well, being single and independent comes with pros and cons. You have to be willing to accept both if that's what you choose. One of those cons is if you don't have a man in your corner whose duty and responsibility it is to protect you. If it was really as dangerous, that's when I talked about that. So going back to your example, I hope we as men would be able to, you know, step in if you're in trouble. However, in the normal day-to-day situations that you hear people saying that women aren't protected, isn't it a coincidence that they are also the least married? So is it me, or am I tripping that most of the women that do complain, and I don't know, like I just see the women that complain about this is like the strong, trying to be, you know, masculine women. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like why is it so bad for one to suggest marriage for protection? Like, we used to literally get married and have families for those exact reasons out of necessity. We needed it to protect the family, both from a financial standpoint as well as an actual, you know, physical protection. We used to just accept these type of things. But for whatever reason, we just see marriage as so bad right now that people will make up any and every excuse to not get married. Or are they just arguing against the point? Hold on, let me get to these comments. So, Queez wrote, yes, we are here to create more life. That's what our purpose is. And that's why I'll be totally honest. It really hurts me when I hear people our age really just start to accept, and it's like you get to that acceptance stage where it's like, well, I don't know, maybe I won't even have kids. It's not a big deal. And then you want to rationalize it because you don't want to feel bad. So you start, telling yourself all these excuses and reasons like, well, having kids isn't everything, doing this isn't it. I don't, the ability, like, what are we here for? We were given life, right? We were given life. Now we don't want to give it to somebody else. We don't want to produce it. It's sad when I hear it. It's really sad because I think that for so many of us, because based on society and culture, we've waited for so long. We've waited for so long to want families, to want, these things that somebody like my bro Queez has. We wait so long for these things, and then it becomes a challenge to get it. And then we just rationalize not getting it to the point where we're now got to convince ourselves and convince everybody else that, oh, it's not the right thing. So then we just got people running around with the craziness. Tafari wrote, no kids are born if we don't. No kids are born if we don't. So it shouldn't even be asked. Like, do y'all realize sometimes I ask myself this, and sometimes I get the answer that I'm looking for, and sometimes I don't. But what if everybody had my particular mindset on this topic in the world? Like, what if everybody had that mindset? How would it impact it? Like, sometimes when I'm getting ready to make a decision, I say, okay, if everybody in the world had this approach, would that be a positive or negative? Now, sometimes, like I said, I get the answer that I'm looking for. Other times it's like, damn, I was trying to go that way, but y'all sending me this way. So it is what it is. Lucille wrote, you got it depended on each other is natural. I agree with it. Yeah, like we fight so much. Like, I know that, we love all the Destiny's Child independent songs. Shoot, I know I'm playing Webby and Boosie, INDP. Yeah, but maybe relying on Webby and Boosie for life advice isn't the best thing, and maybe relying on entertainers overall isn't the best thing. Whether even if it is Beyonce and Destiny's Child. Shout out to the Beehive. Tafari wrote, marriage government wise is bogus, but I do believe in a relationship. That's an interesting point. Why do you think that it's bogus? And is it worth it anyway? Because I think I know exactly what you're getting to. I think I know. And what's up, Shy? I think I know what you're getting to. But when y'all say, is marriage bogus? Is marriage really bogus? And I know that it's very advantageous for women. And I've been going back and forth on this topic for a while. But should it be advantageous to women? Like, think about it. Should it be? And for me, and this is why I question it, because I tend to lean towards a more traditional approach. Like, my ideal situation is to, bro, it's honking crazy. My ideal situation is to have a situation where my wife can stay home, manage the family business, manage the household, and not have to go out here and face all this disgusting work life that, you know what I mean, we see, and that a lot of us experience. And if she's going to stay home, then she should get certain things, if we were to divorce. Like, I would always make sure, like, why would I not even want to make sure that, she's well taken care of, and things of that nature. So I don't really, I don't know, Far, like, is because I'm asking because, all right, if it's just a relationship, and I've personally gone back and forth with this, if it's just a relationship, in my head, I thought, well, shoot, I'm committed anyway. I know I got the right mindset. I know that even if I have a child with somebody, that we don't need to be married, but I'm going to make sure that she's good forever as the child of my mother. I mean, as the mother of my child. So that's my mindset. However, I had to ask myself that question that I just told y'all, as far as, well, if everybody approached it like that, what would it be? Would it be a negative impact or a positive impact? And I had to be honest. If a lot of us, yo, we need that marriage just to give us that extra kick where it's like, yo, you need to be here. Like, you need to be committed. And a lot of us need that to kind of just lock us in. So I do think that it takes us to another. I've never been married, so I don't know, but based on everything that I hear, it's a little different or a lot different. So therefore, it has to take you to a different place. So if a lot of other cultures are using this marriage as a tool to take them to a positive place, then why wouldn't we? Shout out to Ja in the building. Queen Ja. All right, so Queez wrote, you have to be open to being protected. You have to have some sort of conformity to be protected. That's a fact. If you constantly say, I don't need a man, and take on masculine roles, what can you expect? Like, if that's what you constantly put out, then what can you expect? Grand Rising Shy. Queez wrote, let me try to catch up on these. I know I'm behind. I think we need to change the narrative of femininity being into being powerful, because it is. Woo. Queez, I think you hit on something. I think we're looking at femininity is the most powerful thing in the world. Like, we'll hear, you always hear people saying like P is powerful. Femininity overall is the most powerful thing in the world. You can literally get anything. You can accomplish anything. Anything. Look at stuff like, shoot, we just showed the movie Troy, right? What was the movie Troy based on? Based on Paris, his dumb self falling for Helen of Troy, and they started a war over it. Just because he was infatuated with this chick, he tried to take the other king's girl. Like, you tried to take the other king's wife. That's the power that women possess. Now, I'm pretty sure that if she was a masculine, strong, independent type of person, Paris wouldn't have been tripping. I ain't starting a war over your independent self. Like, we good. But, and you have to understand, I guess you have to see the movie to understand, but yeah. Tafari wrote, the government is business that takes advantage of the earner and the family. They set it up to where everyone loses. What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? Does everyone lose? Does everyone lose, or can it be a positive thing? Like, all right, so Tafari, what exactly? I'm about to give Tafari the link. Hold up. Big bro, you trying to tap in? Hold on. We about to give Tafari. Hold on. How do I share it? I guess. All right, copy that. I just sent you the link. Tap in, big bro. But so he wrote, the government is a business that takes advantage of the earner and the family. They set it up to where, even if that's true, let's say even if we know that the government is taking advantage of us, taking advantage of the earner and the family, if it meant that we would have more successful relationships, a more successful community, would it be worth it? Because the government is if you're saying that it's taking advantage of us, and that means it's taking advantage of all these other cultures that marry a lot more than us, but the marriage still helps them so much that maybe they have the ability to be taken. Maybe, the pros outweigh the cons of it. So that's what I would be asking. Tafari wrote, and yeah, I'd make sure my kids are good, but is that actually what's going on? If the money was being used the right way, then I'd be all in. And another thing, we also gotta take responsibility in the people that we choose. So my question to, and I've never been in this position, so I'm only speaking, I'm only talking, I'm only chatting. Armchair quarterback. If we have a child with somebody, do you really want to make that person? Hold up, I think Tafari in the building. Hold up, Tafari, you there? Big building.
What it do, baby?
All right, so we'll keep the convo going. But is it? Do you think that it's worth it, even if the government's taking advantage of people that are married? Do you still think that it's worth it because you're gonna get a positive outcome as far as having more successful relationships?
Be honest with you, I really think it's about the partner that you choose, right? And let me just kind of stay on topic, but jump off topic at the same time.
No, do you think?
If we learn how to vet our partners properly, which a lot of us dudes don't, if we learn how to vet our partners properly, then that'll change the whole story. So right now, I think because we don't know how to vet, our partners, so we end up in a bad situation, and then we end up with somebody who actually, make the marriage and the relationship into a very shitty situation, right? We end up having childish women who, because they mad the relationship ended, right? They're gonna take advantage of everything that they can, and then because most dudes are gonna want to, especially most dudes who got married, is gonna want to take care of their kids, so they lay over and just take whatever the hell is coming at them, So in my opinion, it's comes down to if you have the right partner. I do believe in relationships because realistically, that's one of my things. I told you I want to have 3 kids or 3 more kids. So you're gonna have to have a good partner for that. But it's a scary thing when you say marriage because of the simple fact that, bro, if you go and have, go to Nick Cannon way where you have a bunch of kids and then you got like 10,000 people coming after you for child support and all this other good stuff, but then the money is not being used for the actual child support, then we got an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. So I forget who I was hearing tell their story, but they were talking about somebody. I don't know what, maybe it was Tyrese. Recently, I was looking at, but somebody was responsible for paying like a whole bunch of child support, and it was like $15,000-$20,000 for like a 2-year-old a month.
Yeah,
and it's like that 2-year-old obviously does not need, like, you're not paying $20,000 for a 2-year-old every month. Like a 2-year-old doesn't need $20,000.
Bro, a grown ass person don't even need that much.
A grown person, that's the thing. And so I get the part that it's unfair. However,
that's where the government as a business comes in, and that's what I'm telling you. They do that to take advantage of the person who's earning. And I'm not saying, they've written clearly. You notice I didn't say man or woman. I said the person who's earning, because it happens on the opposite side as well. The government is a business that's going to take advantage of the person who's earning. So if you earning and the other person make less than you, then they're going to try to rip everything away from you.
All right. So my question to you would be this. And this is what I always say. Are we using an extreme example? Are we using an exception to prove the norm? So in my situation, so I'm just asking, let me ask. So in my situation, most people aren't making enough money to even have to, give that type of money back or pay that type of child support. And my question would be, even if a man has to pay more than what we typically think, and based on what a lot of these, like when I talk to my homegirls, a lot of these dudes ain't paying that much money. Like most of the when I hear about the deadbeats and stuff, like they're getting locked up for child support and it's like a couple $100 a month. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that significant. So my question would be, if based on normal, average people living, does it still make sense to take that chance? Because the more marriages it just is a fact. Cultures that get married more, they're more successful. So does it still make sense? And I'm just asking. I'm asking as a question. Like I'm not trying to push that. I'm just asking.
See what Q just wrote, right? I need peace, not I just did your job. But anyway,
no. Come on, bro. This is a team
peace,
approach.
not more problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think, unless I'm misreading that. I think what he's talking about is exactly that, because all that stuff just rises up to more problems. It's going to just be more problems. Now, if you're talking about like, and again, I'm going back to the vetting of the person properly, because I made that mistake. Clearly, you know, you have a bunch of people out there that's making that mistakes because we don't know how to vet women properly, right? And on top of that, women don't know how to vet men properly. So they end up with a whole bunch of deadbeat dads because they choose not to vet that person properly. And we make the same mistake. I'm not gonna front. It's both sides of the street when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, if you really look at it, most of these issues come from us not learning how to vet the other person that we're trying to get with properly. And then we do it based on stupid emotions. We do it based on hormones and all the other good stuff. And then we end up getting screwed over because of it.
No,
So
I
now
definitely,
that's when it turns into it not being worth it. Sorry.
no, you good. No, I definitely agree that it's a vetting process, and this is why we always go back. But how can we expect ourselves to be able to vet something we never were taught it? Like we legit were never taught how to pick a girl. We weren't even taught how to pick a girlfriend, how to pick a boyfriend. So now we're just supposed to naturally just learn how to just pick a husband and pick a wife. And even the picking is easy. Well, I shouldn't say the picking is easy. The vetting is difficult. You know, you could pick anybody. The vetting is a difficult process because the vetting, to me, that's what determines how long you're going to be married. You know, so but we can't expect to know. We can't expect to know. Nobody's taught this. We're not taught this in school. We're taught all a bunch of other silly stuff, but we're not taught the most important decision that we're going to make.
Well, here's the thing, and no one still haven't taught me how to vet, right? I just realized I mean, granted, I'm old as hell, so I finally started
Chill out, bro.
realizing what it is that I want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and I think learning how to vet, and for anyone who's actually interested in listening, when you learn how to vet, is that you got to look at what you're looking to have. Whatever it is that you're looking to have should be the main goal, and how can that person in which you want to get with, or that you're with right now, get you to what you want to have, and are they even aligned with what you want to have? That's vetting, right? What qualities are they showing you now that say, you know what, this might be it, or this might be a turnoff, and what can I deal with, and yada yada yada. Those are the parts that are about vetting, right? Most of those people actually ignore those things because they like getting you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like they enjoy the physical part. they like the physical part.
Yeah.
So therefore they ignore all the other stuff. And I will be the first one to say that I was a victim of that as well. I'm not saying that my ex is a horrible person, but in hindsight, that wouldn't have been the person that I would have put my attention behind, because they weren't getting me to where they wouldn't give me what I wanted. I shouldn't have tried to create a mountain out of a molehill. You know what I mean? If I want a mountain, go to a damn mountain. So all that being said is this, that I knew what I wanted, and I saw all these things that should have told me, yo, this ain't the one, bruh. But I ignored it, and I still moved forward, and I still did what I did and all the other good stuff, right? It was on me because I didn't understand how to really ask or really get what I want, right? Or really run after what I want, however you want to phrase that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing to me is that it is not even something that you have to learn per se. It's something that you have to come to the realization of. Don't take short-term gains and expect long-term, you know what I'm saying, things after that. Like,
yeah, results.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you know, this is short-term. This, you know what I mean? Like it's like I'll tell, it's like me this morning eating a Danish, right? I know this is messed up. I know this messed up, and I know it's not good for my long-term goal of getting in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But that damn Danish right then was pretty damn good, right?
So
and that's what we do all the damn time. We take that short-term thing because it's just so good right now, when it doesn't go to our long-term process.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an issue with society. We're always looking for the fast fix, fast stuff. This is what we talked about yesterday. So my question, I'm putting you on the spot. Is it still worth getting married? Like, regardless of everything that you just said, all the negatives that come along with it, all this other stuff, we weren't taught how to vet, so we know that we're walking into it with a certain level of risk. Is it still worth it?
I'm gonna go out there, and I know Ant's gonna roll on this one, but I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this: if you find a person that's willing to get on your, or excuse me, let me rephrase that because I don't want the females in the chat to jump on me. Hold on. I'm gonna say that if you if you find a person in which you're both on the same page and you can both go along the same road together, you know what I mean? You don't have to see eye to eye on everything, but at least we're both going in the same direction. I think it'll work. But when you have someone who, see, in my case, I was trying to go this way and the person was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, going that way. Mm-hmm. And I chose not to see that.
Why you ain't snatch her ass up? No, I'm just I'm joking, and I meant like snatch her onto your, because sometimes I feel like, well, it's gonna be right. Different with women. It's different with women. If that was a dude, snatch, bro, tighten up. We going this way. Bro.
Yeah, but you're 100% right, and it was my lack of leadership in that relationship that made everything go the way it was, right? The reason why is because I did the typical thing. What like obviously, I ain't grow up with no dad, nothing like that, so I didn't have no positive male role model around me saying, "Yo, bro, if you don't lead this relationship, it's gonna go wherever it's gonna go," right? So that was my fault. I mean, that was my situation. So I did the typical, happy wife, happy life type thing. Give her what she wants. Just freaking, don't argue and yada, yada, yada. That type of stuff, right? But everything
you were that
goes.
Guy? You were that guy?
I was that guy. Like, granted, nobody ran over me. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, why argue? I'll even give you the best example. When we went to go buy a house, right? I didn't want to go to that damn house. Mm-hmm. But she liked it. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Because to me, I'm only going to sleep there anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I work all the time.
Yeah, you got to compromise certain stuff.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Like, the design of the house, how it was made up, you know what I'm saying? Everything. Like, was just like, all right, whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't have an opinion. And then when you don't have an opinion, then you don't exist. You know what I mean? You're in a situation with somebody. If you don't have an opinion, then you don't exist. You're no longer relevant. So now this person start doing things without you because you don't care any damn way. And then now my whole thing was just, yo, I'm going to be at work anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do like everything was, what did Ann say?
He said, I ain't compromising.
He aligned that line.
Nah, he wrote bruh. Just kid. He wrote just kind of like.
But I mean, at the end of the day, blood, like it's as I said, it's all my fault. I will openly say that's my fault because I did not take the initiative. I thought that the way I should lead at that time was for me to just let her be happy, let her do what she wants, let me give her what she wants, da 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 da.
And did she end up happy? Was she happy with that?
She was
because that's another thing, yo. Because I really question. I'm like, yo. Is she do women, and you hear people say this, like women are always going to test you to the point where until you put your foot down, then and let them know, like, yo, we not doing that. That they're going to always
right as well.
Lucille wrote. Oh, Lucille, yeah, I saw that. Hold on, let's look at Lucille's comment real quick. We still talking about the red flags,
yeah.
But if that's the case, does it even? My question was, like, when you let a woman walk all over you. Like, I would think that she may be happy in that temporary moment, but then she's almost grown a certain level of resentment because she's like, damn, I'm walking all over this dude, to where she loses a certain level of respect for him.
Yep, it's the Danish. That's what I was telling you about. That's the Danish. The temporary joy right now turns into something like horrible later on.
Mm-hmm. The gyro. You know I mean? We do not want a yes man, and that's the thing, yo. That's what I was talking about on these comments. Like, dudes will just with the post, like we're talking about protecting women. We're offering a solution. A solution is for us to be more marriage minded. Now, it's not like just a dude gets something out of the marriage. Like there's pros and cons that the women get out of the marriage, maybe even more so than the dudes. So to be able to push and offer this as a solution and to still have people pushing back, it's just wild. And especially have dudes say, like doing all the simpish cosign, and these are the weak dudes that you will never be able to rely on.
Dude, you about to get closed down for what I'm about to say.
Well, let's make it happen, bro. We got 6,000 in the building. We good.
Right. So here's what I think. I personally think that we should go ahead and make everything equal. And
Hold
here's
on.
the reason why.
Let me take Quee's comment off, because if you say something wild, I don't want anything associated with it. Go ahead.
Right. So the reason why that I think everything should go equal, no protection of everyone. Since everyone want to be equal, we should make it equal. And the reason why is because I view it like this. Most men are not my equal. You can be my equal because I know you can stand up to me physically. If a dude can't stand up to me physically, or excuse me, if a person can't stand up to me physically, they're not my equal. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn who they are. So therefore, if we make things equal, let's see who's willing to stop me when I'm ready to do what I want to do. And that's not me threatening them as far as physically. That's just me saying that overall. So therefore, right now we have it in place to where, like, a dude who's physically imposing or mentally ill or whatever the case may be, the protection is there for them. If they want to be equal, then that's more than fine, because there's a lot of dudes out there who don't have my type of freaking chivalry, if you want to call it that. That says, you know what? If I want what I want, I'm going to go get it. And the reason why they don't now is because there's a whole bunch of dudes, my size, your size, and all the other good stuff, who's willing to step up and say, nah, bro, that ain't going to happen. The only way you can stop a dude like me is if you have a couple of other dudes my size to stop me. Do they really want to get rid of that damn kind of protection? Because it doesn't work out for them. So to me, they should shut the hell up and take the protection and then just play a position, because at the end of the day, everyone has a position to play. We all have a position to play. When I'm in a certain area, I'm going to play my position. But when I'm in an area to where I can dominate, I'm going to play my position. And we all know, you played on a damn team. You know what it is. Like, yo, if you step up in there and, goddamn well, like, one of your DBs, or your old vet DB is in there, and that's a hitting ass dude, you're going to be like this, all right, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's the man right there. You play your position. It don't got nothing to do with, oh, you're oppressing me and yada, yada, yada. Shut the hell up. At the end of the day, you play your position.
That's a great point. And so now I'm glad you brought this up, because this is an issue when you think about it. If women don't play sports, let me actually start off with the guys. But keep in the back of your head, if women don't play sports, a woman that doesn't play sports, guys that play sports, you are literally we've been submitting our entire life. We submit to our head coach, we submit to our position coach, we submit to the captain of the team, the best player on the team, whatever it may be. You literally submit. Like, it just is what it is. And it's natural because of what you just said. Because when it comes down to man and sports, it's the meritocracy is based on who who's the most valuable man in this room. And a lot of times that may be on a physical standpoint. It may be in a lot of different areas, but on the football team.
Right, let me answer.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Was it Dazim?
Bez. Yeah, that's Bez.
Yeah. So here's the thing though about that comment, right? And this is something that I was personally in myself.
Yeah.
I've had someone pull a gun on me 3 times. Only one time were they actually in a position to be able to use it on me. I've seen a bunch of people keep thinking like pulling a gun is the easy damn thing.
Nah, bro.
And
That's
even
a
if you
line
do,
from
even
a movie, bro.
right, but even if you do pull it, guess what? Are you quick enough to use it? Are you a good enough shot to use it? Like the gun, people use these guns things as a means to be. They, oh, yo, I got a gun, I'm safe. How many times have that gun? In fact, I've watched whatchamacallit, a dude standing right there, pop, 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 and miss every damn shot.
I cannot believe Tafari just interrupted my point for that. Yo, I swear I ain't take Tafari off. Yo, that's funny. All right, now he back. Hold on.
You broke up. You said I cannot believe.
I cannot believe Tafari just interrupted my point for that.
Oh,
That's
my
a
bad.
lot. It's a line from a movie. He wasn't really. He was. It's a line from a movie. I got guns for big. You never.
Nope.
Yeah. Nah. He wasn't. He wasn't serious. He.
No, I wasn't bashing on him.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying,
know, I
like,
know,
there's
I
a lot
know.
of people who believe that.
Yeah, I know. There are. And but circling back to the relationships and stuff, what you said with the teams, if a woman never plays sports, she's never been submissive to any and everything. Like she's never submitted to anybody in her life. Like I've had conversations with homegirls, you know, especially if you don't grow up with you know, let's say like a father who's a disciplinarian. You know, if you don't grow up with a father who's a disciplinarian and you don't play sports, you've never had to submit to anybody. It's like you don't submit to your teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like your that's not really, you do the
And you
work,
damn
but
sure
that's
don't
not
submit to your
really.
mom mostly.
So therefore, you've never been in a submissive role, or the people that you have had to submit to, maybe your teacher, you didn't like them, so therefore it's never been. You've never seen the benefits of submission. Maybe that's the right way to say it. You've never seen the benefits of submission. When you're a little girl and when your daughters come and they want to hug on daddy because daddy's the strongest man in the world and daddy can beat everybody up in the world, they're submitting to you as their protector, you know, as their father, and it feels good. So if a woman grows up and she's never been in a submissive position to where it's felt good for her, you know what I mean? Like it's the only submissive roles that she's been in were either non-existent or ones that were just telling her exactly what to do. You need to do your homework. You need to do this. Then they don't know that, listen, submission is an amazing thing. We're going to provide and protect for y'all. We're going to protect y'all. We're going to provide for y'all. Like, live your soft life. Like, this should be the goal. Like, this is not something to push back on. Trust me, there's a lot of dudes. We complain about dudes that, what do you call a dude a deadbeat if they just sit back, let their girl work for them? You know what I mean? Just because they're sitting back lazy playing video games. We're telling you, nah, you're good. You could, like, not that you're just going to sit back and play video games, but you don't have to do certain things. Like, we're assuming the responsibility in these particular areas so you do not have to worry about them.
Actually, I think the thing that to me that and I get it. We like here's the reason why women are bugging out right now. And ladies in the chat, ladies in the audience, y'all gonna be mad at me about this, but y'all be
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Here's the reason why these women like are bugging today, right? It's because unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately because I'm a warmongering motherfucker. But anyway, unfortunately, we live in very peaceful times. So they don't see the other side of things. They don't see the fact that if a bunch of dudes from another country or another region or whatever the case may be come through and start tearing everything up, their prize, as well as the things that they can take, is the women that they can take. And they'll be set through the most brutal freaking punishment at that time. Why? Because those dudes do not care about your feelings. They're going to smash you. Mash you. They're going to do whatever it is that they have to do to get their pleasure. And there's nothing they can do about it. Right now, we're in peaceful times. That peaceful time is letting them say, well, I don't need no this, and I don't need no this, and I don't need no this. Like, okay, fine. You don't need us now. But I guarantee you, in another damn country, in another damn tribe, in another damn whatever you want to call it, where now it's no longer peaceful, and if they bring their war over here, which eventually will be, because our soft-ass president, but once they bring that war over here, and then now we all have to suffer now, who want to put their life on the line? Who want to go out there and fight? Who want to go out there and struggle all damn day? We're giving them a peaceful, easy time to live in, and then they're taking advantage of it, but in the wrong way. Take advantage of it and build your man up. Because I guarantee you, in every single walk of life, A man wants to build his woman up. That's what we do. We build our women up. But instead, they want to, I don't need you. I'm independent. I'm this and this. Shut the hell up. Because I guarantee you, if a group of damn dudes come around right now who don't give a damn about no damn rules, then all that shit will go mum. All that protection and stuff like that that you claim you don't need is all of a sudden going to go mum. You know what I mean? And I don't want to bring it like that because unfortunately, people are going to view me. I really don't care how they view me, but they're going to view, you know what I'm saying, this type of situation like it's sweet, but it ain't sweet. Bro, we are protecting you from other dudes who don't give a fuck. But yet still they want to sit there and stomp on that very protection that we're trying to give them. And all we ask for, and it's so damn simple, we ask for peace. We had the what do you call it? The P and the other some whatever. You know what I'm saying? The PPQ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. Peace, pussy, and quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's realistically what most men ask for. Because a man will go cook for himself. If you don't want to cook, all right, fine, fuck it. I'll make my own goddamn food. My shit tastes better any goddamn way. But you know what I'm saying? But it's like I don't understand it because they complete us. You know what I'm saying? They motivate us. They give us everything that you know what I'm saying? Like they this is gonna sound so gross. Forgive me, Lord have mercy. But anyway, like the reason why we want a woman is because it reminds us of our first love, which is our moms. You know what I mean? So when you have a woman that's comparable to your first love, like you want to take care of her. You want to do everything in your power, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that she's good. But then they're taking that away, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's a confusing thing, but it's like a lot of things in society. To me, where you always see with a bad culture, you can tell a culture is bad when they're just self-destructive. A lot of the stuff that we do, we literally gladly run towards are the things that destroy us, whether it's the music we listening to and embracing and pushing out or anything else. Everything about our culture is literally destructive. So the things that we become comfortable with, the things that we are asking for, the things that we want to live, whether it's a hot girl summer or whether it's or whether it's us running around here doing what we hear in the songs and watching in the movies and trying to have sex with every single woman, all these different things, they're destructive in a lot of ways. They really are. But that's just, go ahead, keep going. And then while you're going, I'm gonna set up another video that I want us to watch, and then I want to get your feedback on it as well. But keep going.
But I think we're being pushed that way because we're being pushed in a very destructive manner by the media and by everything else, and we're being programmed. And I don't think that like we're strong enough people to break that programming. The unfortunate part is that our people, black people, are so fucking weak that anything that comes along is going to influence us one way or the next, right? You'll have the Jewish people that be able to stand on their morals no matter what. You'll have Indian people that'll stand on their morals no matter what. You have Asian people that stand on their morals no matter what. You have white people that stand on their morals no matter what. Spanish people, yo, papi, I'm standing on my morals no matter what. Black people, oh, what? Oh, now I'm going over this side. Wait. What'd you say over here? Oh, I'm going on this side. Wait. What'd you say over here? Oh, I'm going on this side. We don't stand on shit.
You're right.
The only thing we stand on is destructive shit, and then that's why we ain't ever gonna be shit. As a group, we ain't never gonna be shit.
Yeah, unless we make a significant change, we'll always be in this position. We will always be in this position.
Yeah, you were shitting on me for wanting to make a difference. Yeah.
As far as what? Talk about it.
The thing I was talking about yesterday.
Explain to the people.
I don't want to tell them.
Go ahead. All right, so pretty much Tafari is in victim saving mode, and he wants to explain it. But this is the situation I was talking about, where Tafari, he called me, or we talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to talk to you about something," and you share it, and we'll let everybody give their opinion.
All right, fine. I want to start a program um, to where I am helping the people that want to be helped. Again, it's not me saving the world. If you're on drugs, go fuck yourself. If you're, you know what I'm saying, a negligent mother, go fuck yourself. If you want to go out there and just open your legs for anybody and then have a whole bunch of kids by a whole bunch of other baby daddies and stuff like that, go fuck yourself. But for the people who actually like the single moms and dads too, but the single moms and dad who actually want help, who are hardworking people who but just can't, you know, they just didn't receive the education to get a better job, or they just didn't have the situations where they not getting a better job. I want to open up a program to where we're not only are we doing a all day babysitting service for them, right? Like by all day I mean like probably from like 7 to like 8 at night type thing, where you know they can come and pick up their kids, or they can go to work and know that their kid is in a place that's actually safe. They can jump on their camera at any time and, you know, view whatever thing that their kid is in, like you know, their kids will always be in a particular class or a particular room, but they can always jump on their camera and see where their kids are at all times and stuff like that. And like it's a community of people that's helping each other raise their kids, right? So if you go to work, then you know your kid is getting outside of school, they're still getting educated, but they're getting educated to do things like, okay, they're going to learn how to cook, they're going to learn how to build things, they're going to learn how to fix things, they're going to learn how to all these hands-on type stuff. They're probably going to learn martial arts in some way, sure, preferably boxing, but they're going to learn martial arts and all these other self-defense type things. And if you're not down with that program to allow them to do all these things, then they can't be in it at all. There's no selective few, because we want to start building our community to be better people. And that's why I say it's not about certain people. It's about, you know, building a better community. Now, the other side, which Dak was giving me arguments about,
I'm
was
about
the
to
one
say
that
everything that he just said. He started off saying like, "Yeah, you disagreed with me," and then said something that I'm hearing for the first time. Like I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't hear any of this."
Oh wait,
You telling me all this for the first time? I agree with all that.
But
I'm
see,
talking about
but see,
the
you
I'm
didn't,
talking
you
about
didn't
the
even let me get
militia.
to the other
I'm talking
part.
about the militia for men,
Let me
like
get to this part.
the deadbeat militia.
All right. So what I wanted to do was form, and it's not a militia. I
I'm
just
just
wanted to
yeah.
form a team of people that will go out there and find all these quote unquote deadbeat dads, and then, you know, kind of push them in a way to accept responsibility for their actions. Because at the end of the day, it does start with the male. It's our fault first. We are the ones who freaking went in it raw. All right, we went in raw and we freaking did what we did, and so it's our fault first. All right, because as a and I'm not. Let me say. I'm not saying that as the man who's supposed to be the leader, right?
Now you
Um,
see him caving. Now you say what you gonna say. Nah. Go keep going. Don't
but
get triggered.
as the man who's supposed to be as the man who's supposed to
Yeah.
be the leader, we are supposed to make better decisions. Because as leaders, if we don't make better decisions, then our whole freaking thing get led astray. That being said, we should find these deadbeat dudes and make them step up. That's what I'm saying. And we're going to convince them in a very convincing way to step up and take responsibility for their children. And that don't seem to be with that.
Yeah, I'm not risking my life to enforce anything with no deadbeat.
Let me answer.
Go
Let
ahead.
me answer Ant real quick. For the dudes who didn't want to have the baby, it's too late, bro. You jumped in it. You jumped in it. You had the kid. It's too late. Like we already know as men that once we bust a nut, it's no longer on us. It's not our decision no more. So therefore, once you jumped in it, it's nah. And then fuck child support.
And
You need
said
to go
the
support your
deadbeat
child.
already exists. I mean, the deadbeat militia already exists. All right, so this is my point. I'm not risking my life to do the things that you would need to do to convince a deadbeat dad to enforce him to be a father. To be totally honest, and it's just me speaking off the cuff, I'd rather highlight and support the men that are not deadbeats, the men that are in their kids' lives, but maybe struggling, maybe working so much that they can't make it to their kids' games, that they got to work so many hours that they can't really truly have that presence as the father in their kids' lives. I'd rather pour into those brothers. I when it comes to the deadbeats, I'm glad that you're willing to form the deadbeat militia, because that's something that somebody else could do. I'm not saying that I'm just not interested in it. I'd rather highlight the people that are good dads, make those dads, give them support so they can be the coolest person that their kids are looking up to, because those are the solid brothers that we need as leaders. If you're a deadbeat and you leave your kid like that, I don't really, just me personally, I don't really have much sympathy or empathy for you, to the point where I'm going to risk my freedom and my safety to convince you to be a good father.
So about that, right? As I was trying to explain yesterday, there's plenty of reasons why these dudes go through the situation that they went through, right? Either they were too young, or they just didn't have the mental teaching to go through all this, or like Ant said, they were forced into having a child that they didn't want to, and yada yada yada, right? There's a bunch of different situations, and I get that. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need to wake some cats up. You know what I mean? It's not, and I explained to you,
but you ain't have that energy with the ladies when you just said, well, if the ladies don't want to do this, F them. If you a deadbeat, F them.
But here's the deal. Once again, and I get what you mean.
Nah, keep going, because you got a real story behind it.
I get what you mean, and I understand it. But at the end of the day, the first thing that we have to do before we even go down to and I'm gonna say it, damn all y'all, before we jump on the weaker species, we have to jump on the strong, right? Because when you it's kind of like when you go into a group, right? And you so the couple of times I've been jumped, the first thing I did was, I know it's cliche, but it's actually true. You go after the best fighter, because once you yam that motherfucker in the face, you know what I'm saying, and then start staggering back, then the rest of them will back off a little bit because they're weaker, right? So my thing is, if you start going after the strong, then the weak will fall in line. I know it's cliche, but it's absolutely true, and I've proven that too many damn times.
But you're not going after the strong. That's my think about it in your example.
By the men, I'm talking about the men.
But think about it in your example. I know,
right?
but the strong men are the ones that I'm looking to support. The ones that are not deadbeats. The ones that are just they just need extra support. No, they're not doing it. Let's be clear. If you're working so much to the point where you can't have a presence in your kid's life, then you're doing your job from a foundational standpoint, protecting and providing, but you're not able to pour into that child as you would like to where the school's now raising your kid, the after school program's raising your kids. You're not able to pour into that child as much as you like because you're not spending as much personal time with that child. So that's the strong. So I'd rather pour into the strong and then let the weak follow. You trying to pour into the weak and thinking that's going to change stuff up. I'm not a fan of rewarding bad behavior. So I'm not rewarding, but you are though, because when you give, you are
putting them in check.
It's a participation. It's a participation trophy, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. It's a participation trophy because however you look at it, you're trying to help. You're trying to help people that have made the decision to be deadbeat dads. You're trying to help them. Now, I'm only talking about a certain category. I guess we should have defined deadbeats. I'm not talking about the father that's struggling, to make do, to still contribute to his kid that really is on. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about providing, but I'm talking about give that guy support. Give that man a little bit of a boost. Give that man some help because that man's going to be they're already a good leader. They just need a little bit of support so that they can be the role model.
Then they can be part of the force. They'll receive extra money for being part of the force. How about that?
But all right, so answer Ant's question, man. Cause Ant, I'm with you. This is the same thing that I said to him. I'm like, Ant wrote, y'all keep talking and forcing. How you about to do that? And Davari, he ain't gonna be able to describe it on here. like you trying to enforce, bro. It's Davari funny, yo. Go get Zimmerman. If you go get Zimmerman, then I'll believe you. You go get Zimmerman Handle that.
Zimmerman don't got nothing to do with me. Because here's the thing, and this is why people gonna hate me now. Check this out. All right, that to me is the second place trophy thing, right? Because number one, Zimmerman, and I'm not protecting him. I'm just saying, right? If when I walk around, right, I'm not walking around with a hoodie on my head. Why? Because I already know that they don't like us and they're gonna do certain things to us, right? I'm not walking around with my pants off my ass because I already know that they have a viewpoint of me. All right. I'm a 6'1", freaking 230-pound dude. A lot of people already find me intimidating. So why am I going to do things that's gonna make it seem even more intimidating? And the way I view it is that
I've seen you with a hoodie on in the rain.
Huh?
I've seen you walk around with a hoodie in the rain.
One time.
You don't walk around with hoodies in the rain?
Nope. The one time I did that. One time.
Go ahead.
So my thing is this. And it's the same thing, and I'm bringing it back to the women, right? And it's the same thing with them. I don't want to walk around as a target for people to shoot, right? You shouldn't walk around as a target for people to hoe on. So we just like how we want to be perceived, right? So when people perceive you the way you want, the way you're trying to be perceived, don't get mad when the damn consequences meet that action, if you want to call it like that. So to me, even though it was his neighborhood or whatever, homie was walking around and trying to be intimidating, kid or not, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna go chase after this dude talking about he's part of the problem.
You saying the kid was trying to be intimidating, or Zimmerman was trying to be intimidating?
The dude was a security guard, right?
Yeah.
Now again,
it was community
I need you to
police.
Understand this, huh?
Like communities, some community, like
right.
Yeah.
So he's an armed security guard protecting this community.
I don't think that was it. What is that? Maybe I don't know all the details. No, I think they had a community task force, like some like like hall monitors.
Right, but
type
that's still his job. Right? It's not like he went out to the park to go shoot this kid. It's not like he went out to he went out to the neighborhood and was looking around for Negroes or whatever. He was where he was supposed to be. And
dude was part of the deadbeat militia. Go ahead. All right, hold, real quick before Zafar. Everything you're saying as far as dress, totally understand that. However, in other communities, this is what would happen. You would tell your kid, make sure that you're not dressing like this, make sure you're not all these things. If that situation still happens, you tell that kid the same, you tell other kids the same thing, but you also address that. That's what happens with other communities. Other communities, you address that too. You say everything that you're saying, but you address that too. But let's not make it about.
Wait.
You getting away from the point, bro.
About that real quick. I know we got to talk about that real quick. The biggest problem that I find in what you're saying is you're trying to compare us to other communities. We got way more problems than other communities.
Bro, stop.
We don't live the same way.
Stop it.
We don't live the same way.
What problems you got more than the white guy down the street? I don't have the white guy down the hallway. He doesn't. I don't have more problems than him.
No, brother. I'm not talking about as an individual. I'm talking about as a people. How
does that factor into anything that we've discussed? Like what the point?
I
want to know what was the point that you said.
You're trying to compare.
Yes, because we are a losing team. We are a losing team. So what is a losing team? Tafari. So you want to go look at other losers, or do you want to go look at and study the Patriots?
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
So what are you saying?
What I'm talking about is that you were saying about would I go tell this white kid or this other kid to go do the same thing?
No,
my thing is this.
What? I didn't say that.
Wasn't that what you was talking about?
No, I was talking about if something happens with Trayvon. If I have, let's say I have two sons, right? Mm-hmm. Trayvon's one of my sons. Something happens with Trayvon, like George Zimmerman. Let's say I told them, hey, make sure that you're not, moving outside in a certain type of way. Your appearance obviously is going to give off different energy. You want to make sure that you're setting a different appearance. Cool. If what happened still happened, then in my mind, you talking about a militia? Okay, I'm gonna tell my other son,
Then that's a
maybe
different story.
Trayvon, yo, this is why you shouldn't be wearing a hood. This da. I'm still not letting him rock out like that. I'm
You're
addressing
right.
that. So that's
You're
all
right,
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You see, I'm not arguing with that.
George
fact, and you're
Zimmerman
right.
running around. You got George Zimmerman running around signing Skittle bags, doing autograph signings with Skittle bags. And all these thugs in our community, everybody else think they tough guys, is just allowing him to run around because now he's mocking the death. There's a difference
Yes,
between
but here's the thing.
between mocking somebody's death and killing somebody. That takes it to a whole nother level, bro. Come on, now you walking around signing Skittle bags, bro. That man
See,
should be
here's the
addressed.
thing. Here's the thing, and that's what makes us weak as all hell. That's why we ain't shit. Because if, as you said, if it was another community, that stuff would have been handled. It would have been taken care of.
So, like
But
I said,
unfortunately,
if
we ain't shit.
for me
So
to believe in the
therefore-
deadbeat militia, y'all go holla.
Nah, but-
Y'all,
But see, it has
that
to
gotta
start
be
from
addressed.
someplace, bruh. It's got to start from someplace.
All right,
And
so-
to me,
all right,
the
so-
first place ain't about no one dude.
All right, so
Right?
what's the first place? So explain to me how it will work.
So the way it'll work is that we'll go and we'll talk to these men, right? And we'll find out why it is that they're not taking responsibility. And then once we hear their stories, then we'll bring them into a room and then, you know what I'm saying, like, and actually work out why it'll be more beneficial for them to go and handle their responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a simple thing. We're just gonna work out why it's more beneficial for them to go handle their responsibility. And all we're doing is saying, hey, it's gonna be a part of your child's life and help raise them properly. Because, you know, things might happen if you don't. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's
But what's
it's
and you think that that's gonna say, oh man, this deadbeat militia just said that things are gonna happen if I'm not in my kid's life. Do you think that the things that are already going to happen with somebody that does not care about being in their kid's life, do you think that they're going to care about whatever threats or not threats or whatever things are going to happen or things are going to be enforced if you come to them and bro, they're deadbeats. There's a reason why they deadbeats. Don't even do them that favor.
I have this, and I hope this doesn't incriminate me, but I have this thought, right? And this thought, it says that if you wanted to die, you'd kill yourself. But when you really don't want to die and you really just want attention, then you claim that you're going to kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's my thought. And that being said, is that anyone who's around, like, they want to be around. So to me, helping somebody realize their mistake, you know what I'm saying, is never a bad thing. Because sometimes you don't know if you don't know. Because when you grow up with this shit, then you don't know. If your dad was never there and you ain't never seen a proper father and all the other good stuff, you might make the mistake of saying, you know what, man, I don't got to do nothing, la 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 la. There's people make mistakes. My father made that mistake for 26 years. And then after that 26 years is when this dude want to come back in my life and be like this, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? What up, blah, blah. I ain't even know, man, blah, 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 right? And like like anyone who's been eager to see a certain person, they're going to forgive that person, right? I did. And then this bastard got shot in the head a month and a half after, right? But I gave him that chance after 26 years. He came back into my life. I gave him that chance, and it was an exhilarating month and a half. I'll tell you that, because talking to this dude over the phone, where at first I was mad, then I was happy, then I was like, you know, kind of dizzy and all the other good stuff. But he came back. He realized his mistake after 26 years, and he came back. And the way that made me feel at that time was crazy. So
but
I think.
Listen to what you're saying, though. He made the decision. He wasn't forced or told to do something. If you're forced and told to do something, one, it's not coming out the kindness of your heart. It's not genuine. He approached you from a genuine standpoint.
But then we find something good out of it.
Says who? What'd you find good
Some
out of
of
it?
us.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's just not true. But your dad, he wasn't forced to do it. He arrived to that point on his own. If when you're forced to do something, do you do it with the same quality that when you want to do it on your own?
I think that
The answer
sometimes
is
people
no.
need to have a realization of certain things.
I don't know how you would provide that realization to somebody with a deadbeat. You're talking to somebody like, it's like you're trying to convince an addict that drugs are like a full-blown
I don't really think it's as deep
addict.
as you think. I really don't think it's as deep as you think.
You don't think leaving a child, you have to have a certain type of mindset, like to where that's pretty, to me, that's a pretty deep
Hey
type
man,
of thing.
can you tell Ed to quit yelling at me?
What ain't right? I'm not forced to do anything. Facts. Like the
Yeah,
answer
stop
is
yelling,
no.
bro.
It's like when you force somebody to do something, bro, they're not gonna like. But why would you even want to? There's a lot of good, solid fathers out here that if they were poured into more, we always talk about making stuff cool, right? People follow what's cool. So all the great fathers, the good fathers that they may struggle financially, or they may struggle with timing, they may struggle with this. They're asking for help, but they're good fathers and they're present and they're showing up. Why not
The
pour
plan
into
is to help
them?
them too.
But
The plan is
you
to help
ain't.
them too.
Oh, so you God out here. You helping everybody.
No, it's not. You know what? Like I said, I really want to help. Like the thing is I want to help our people as much as I can.
But you do that by rewarding the good behavior. Why do people want to
Right,
win the
but that's
Super
going
Bowl?
to be a part of it. I only just see
If
like
they
I
gave
only told you about that part.
If they gave more
But-
money for somebody to lose fights or somebody to lose the game, what do you think? The new winning would be losing. If you're paying me more to lose, if you're rewarding me more to lose, if I get a trophy when we lose, then the game changed. Now the objective is to lose. So when you're rewarding the positive brothers that are doing it, that's how you get the other people to realize, like, yo, like your dad may have realized, because they got to come to that understanding on their own, just like any other decision. You could tell that kid, yo, you're a parent. How many times you tell your kid to do something, but they just won't accept it? It's because until they actually accept it as the right thing and they believe in it, then they're not going to move forward on it. They're not going to move forward with the same effort that somebody who actually believes in it would. So pour into the good brothers and let them cool, give them a platform, and then everybody else will follow suit. And at the very least, if everybody else doesn't follow suit, at least we'll be able to show women exactly what type of men they should be having kids with. So pour into the good brothers. Pour into them. They need help too.
But see, that's part of the plan as well. But at the same time, that's not the topic of what we were talking about. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely part of the plan. Because again, I want us to have a stronger community. I honestly do. You know what I mean? I think I'm tired of us like being the weakest, even though we're the strongest. And for all the people who ain't black on this chat, y'all need to understand that it's already proven that blacks are have the capability of being the strongest minded, strongest physically, strongest mentally, and everything else. You know what I mean? Like
we got an extra bone. We got an extra bone.
Yeah, we just got that extra bone. So, like, to me, why we gotta be the strongest? Why we gotta be the strongest but the weakest at the same time? I don't get it,
bro. We the weakest. I don't know what the fuck you talking about,
bro. We are.
You talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Why we gotta be the strongest but we're the weakest?
Because you want to know why? Because we keep pouring in to the people that don't deserve it, like the deadbeat dads that you discussing and trying to help out.
See, now I just said it right there.
You can't, yeah. Yeah. Big
What?
bro, stop leaving me, man.
I ain't doing like. Oh yeah, I'm on 5G right now.
So you was talking about Najah saying you can only help the ones that want to be helped. A deadbeat don't want to be helped. They're a deadbeat.
But see, in that particular situation, I'm not necessarily helping the father. What I'm doing is help, because again, me being in that situation, me being that kid, that's who I'm actually trying to help. Because I know, like, give me closure.
You can't incentivize somebody to be a father, bro, and expect that to really help a child.
I'm not saying for them to think, like, here's the thing. If I knew from jump that my father wasn't shit, because I never even had a chance to be around him, right? But if I knew, like as a kid, I know I'm probably thinking about this from an adult mind now, later, way later on, but if I knew that my father just wasn't shit, and I knew his side of the story, like if I sit him in that room and he tell me, yo, listen, man, I don't want to do it, man. I'm like, all right, cool, I accept it. Now I can move forward. I can move on. But hey, man, why you got the camera so close to my face? Back up. I ain't pretty right now.
What you talking about?
But oh, the camera just came like right on my teeth. So I was like, ah, damn.
Oh,
Making
nah,
brother
you
remind
good.
me.
We not seeing that.
All right. But
yo, Tafari,
but
crazy.
but what I'm saying is, like, sit me down and just let me know that, yo, you don't want me.
Bro,
And
who's
then now
doing
I
that?
know that you ain't shit. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to create that opportunity for.
No, bro. Yo, we gotta be realistic, bro. You ain't saving everybody. If you trying to
I
save
can't.
everybody, so then some people just gotta go. It is what it is. Everybody can't go, bro. So therefore, it just is what it is. You gotta save the people that are doing the best.
Hey,
You know what salespeople do in sales? When sales managers, I've read books on this. You reward the people that are doing the best. You don't pour into the people that are at the bottom, that are not motivated, that are not disciplined, that are not focused, that are not intentional, that are not doing all the things that are going to lead them to success. You pour into the people at the top, the people that are actually doing well. You pour into the person that, this dude's hustling, but we just got to, if they just learn a little bit more, if they learn their pitch, if they get a little comfortable, but they are working, they are visiting, they're doing cold calls. You pour into those people. You don't pour into the people at the bottom that are just not motivated, that are not trying to do what clearly should be, a responsibility that they take on. Stop wasting your time, bro, because really you're doing it a disservice. You're doing exactly what the government did with all these social programs, bro. You're rewarding bad behavior. You're giving participation trophies out to the point where people are comfortable doing the bad behavior. People are comfortable being bums to the point where they don't see an advantage in seeing any other type of life. Nah, reward the people at the top.
I don't see how I'm rewarding them though.
You're rewarding, you giving them your time, effort, your energy. You're trying to help them become a better person. But why not just help elevate the people that are good people at heart, but just need a little bit more support, that they would benefit from the sport? Because the guys that I'm talking about, the ones that if you pour into them, they're actually going to take full advantage of it. Why? Because that's what's in their heart. They're not getting incentivized to say, well, yo, you're going to beat my ass if I don't, go take my kid for ice cream. Bro, come on now. Like, it's just not realistic.
Last four comments, they're making their points.
All right, let's read them. Because then we still got something else to talk about. Bro, why I keep banging on you? Nah, bro. It's the service. We just going in and out. Mom a deadbeat for having someone babies that didn't want to have babies. Yo.
Facts.
Yeah, that's especially if you know.
I mean, it's facts though, because here's the thing, like, especially when you have someone who's had 2 or 3 or 4 kids by different dudes, like, bro, you a deadbeat chick, because at this point you should have already learned from the first one, or maybe even 2. The first one, all right, cool, stuff happened, it's his fault. The second one, now you should have already said, okay, I already have 1 kid. Let me be a little bit smart about how I approach a relationship moving forward. So, I mean, that's kind of facts. Like, first one, shame on you. Second one, shame on me.
Yeah. Or at least understand yourself. Maybe like, okay, maybe let me at least get married, before I have any more kids. Maybe just set, a new standard. And it sucks because now that you have the kids, it may make it harder to get married. We just got to be more intentional from the beginning, and we got to really just be teaching and encouraging people. That's why, to me, it goes back to the marriage. Like, if we're encouraging people to do that, in my opinion, like it sets us up, even if there is a divorce, it still sets you up to have a more positive future. And and a more positive family, in my opinion. And it gives the woman, you know, more of an opportunity to have a significant other or husband moving on if they were already married, in my opinion.
You also got to remember that all of this still a female's decision, bro. All of it. Still a female decision. They control the access to sex. They control the access to birth. They control the access to all that stuff. So when they just, you know, give free access, then who the hell wouldn't take it? But anyway, move on to the next one.
Real quick, let me just read Ants. Tafari, I think your effort would be more effective teaching kids with parents that left them to come up with their own closure and not to internalize the parent leaving as them being the reason. Yeah, we got to definitely. I get what you're saying. And like I said, it's all, I know that your intent behind it is more focused on the kids, you know, just based on you understanding what, you know, a father's presence can be, even, you know, and you have a unique, like mine, I always had my dad in my life. So it's a different perspective that you're bringing to the table. So I definitely want to, you know, appreciate that. But yeah, all right. So overall, even with marriage, so this is what we were going to get into. Well, hold on. As far as when I was sitting here thinking, I just asked the question. I said, is marriage really that bad to where men and women just don't want it? Because when you talk about marriage, when you bring up the point of marriage, it's almost as if guys are running away from it and women are running away from it. Both people run away from it. So what I did is I put together a list of pros. So I wrote down pros, wrote down cons in my notebook, and I said, you know what, let me write some pros of marriage. Because I was like wondering, I'm like, well, why don't people want to get married? And maybe, you know, like you said, in a different way, if you can show people the benefits of something, then maybe they'll embrace it more. So I was just writing these pros. So I said the protection, you know, protection, obviously you'll be protected. That's something that's come up a lot. Provision.
Yeah, wait, can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna type it in. So you go ahead.
The problem with the protection part now is because we're living in a safe ass world, so they feel like they don't need it. So I don't even think that should be something that's in there, because that's not something that they see, because of the simple fact that they can just go call the cops. They think that, you know, they're already entitled to protection, so they're not going to see that protection for real. If you tell a female, hey man, you don't want to go just like that because dudes are going to act this way, or even other females are going to act this way, so you need to chill out on that, they're going to be like, oh, you can't tell me what the blah, 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 blah. So
no,
that protection thing is actually out. I think that protection one should be out of there right now. So we got to find a better reason.
So let me get through the list, and then I'm your point. Listen to Tafari's point as we go through the list. Because trust me, we going there. So protection. This is just what I had on the list. Protection, provision, guidance, having a team, the commitment that you get from somebody, family. You know, being able to have a family with somebody. Insurance. So when I put in insurance, I was more so thinking of all the reasons why we talked earlier about how marriage may or may not be fair, but it still gives a woman a certain level of insurance to the point where you know that, hey, even if we get divorced, you know, I'm married. So, you know, if I have kids with this person, even if we get divorced, whatever it be, there's certain rules in place to where I can be, you know, better off rather than being single if I just have a kid with somebody. And then I put discipline. So to Tafari's point, when he said to throw out protection, when I got to the cons list, literally the first thing that I wrote down was commitment. And I started to write, I just got to COM, and then I crossed it out, because everything that I just named on that list can also be these are the exact reasons that I'm saying that are pros, are the exact reason why people don't want to get married. Like when you think about a woman. And just this is just based on what society has encouraged. So I'm not saying that all women or women that are on the chat feel this way, but think about it, what we see in society. Women don't want no commitment. That's what they sell us on, right? They sell us on being free. But fellas, same thing. Fellas, let's not even keep with just the women. Fellas, we don't want a commitment. We rather just have our own lives, you know, just move around. But I think that women are sold on it even more and marketed to even more, to be independent, you know, to not want a team, to not want guidance, to not have to have the leadership of a man that's disciplining them, or not disciplining them, but encouraging them to live in a disciplined life.
Before you go
Um,
through your cons, can I
go ahead,
trample
go ahead,
all over your pros?
go ahead.
All right. So you got protection. We already talked about that,
Hmm.
right? You got provision. Oh, I don't need no man. I got my own money. I make my own thing.
Same
I want
thing.
to do
They
this
see it
and
as a
this. That
negative
just kills it right
because
there, right?
with the
Guidance.
provision,
Don't
what
tell
do
me
women
what to
say?
do.
They say, "Oh, if a man makes more than me, if I'm not working, yo, I know that that's a real
Mhm.
feeling for any woman who has a job to where she's able to take care of herself and live quote unquote independently. For her to now give some of that up,
You want to eat pasta
it's
every day. You
scary, yo. I
stupid.
get it. I get it. I get it. It really is scary.
But
It
hold on.
really
So
is
here's the other
scary.
one. Guidance. Don't tell me what to do. I can do what I want. Blah 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 blah. Right? Um, what makes you so much better? La 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 la. Right? So that's guidance. Team. I'm fine by myself. Right? Um, we already talked about commitment.
Ladies,
Family. I don't want
ladies, he
no
not,
kids.
I mean, ladies, what y'all think? He
Hold
not
up.
wrong.
Family. I don't want no kids. Da 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 da. Insurance goes back to protection and provision. I can do what I want. I'm protect. I can provide for myself. La 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 la. So what do I need your insurance? La 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 la. I can do what I want. I can go buy a dildo. I can do this and this and this. Right? Discipline. Oh man, don't let me get into that. Don't let me get because they'll all hate me after I get into discipline. So every single one of those pros realistically get trampled by one or two cons.
I think, yeah, I agree. That was my point. Literally, you could see it on my page. I had a list of pros and then the cons. I didn't write anything because I realized that they're the same things. What I may see as a pro, that's gonna be seen as a con to a lot of other people. Or based on what society, what we know society is targeting, trying to destroy our relationships, destroy our marriages. So it just is what it
Dak, I
is. Let
think
me
you should answer this one.
all right, what did Ja wrote? She wrote, many women never experienced a man that they could trust to lead, that showed them that they were even capable of leading. The actions don't match the words. Yo, that's the point that I was making the other day. If you've never had, and this is why it's tough when a father is not in a daughter's life. It makes it so difficult for go ahead.
Um, can I just say with that comment, like as much as wait, that's a lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As much as she's right, the problem that I find with that is that most women don't even give up the position to allow a man to lead. So like that's why that position comes up.
All right,
If
but
you don't
let
even
me yeah.
allow a dude,
My point. This is the point that I was making. So if you've
okay.
never had that in your life, this is why I get frustrated with fathers not being in their daughters' lives and not keeping it real with their daughters. That's a big frustration for me because you realize that if a father's not teaching a daughter certain things, especially the interaction between a man and a woman, all these different things, whenever they actually come across a strong male leader, they're going to naturally be turned off by it because they've never got that from their dad, especially if their dad didn't pour into them, wasn't in their life on a consistent basis. If they never had a man that they could trust, that they could submit to, that they thought was worth respecting to the point that they would do those things, it's going to be very hard for them to understand the language that a lot of us strong men may speak in because it's going to turn them off. It's going to rub them the wrong way. It's going to trigger them because it just comes across. They don't see the love aspect of it. Because when you have a father in your life, one of the greatest things is you see him very hard on you. Like my relationship with my dad and my mom is different. A father's going to be disciplined, is going to put his foot down. It is what it is. But as you grow older, you see all the benefits of that tough love and what it did. So you embrace it. It almost like your love for your father almost grows as you get older, just because you appreciate all the lessons that we hated then that we were taught. You appreciate that so much later on. But if a woman has never had that, then she doesn't know that a lot of the tough love or what may come across as tough love when it's just guidance or it's just leadership, she's never going to be able to appreciate the benefits that will come from that, in my opinion.
So you're 100% right. And I think like a lot of that situation, And ladies, you're gonna kill me, especially Sky. But a lot of that stuff comes from is the fact that they are too easily controlled by everything around them, and women give women the worst advice possible. So they listen to other women and hearing what, oh, I would do this, I would do this, you should do this, oh girl, da la la la, and then they never put themselves in the position to receive good advice and to make that to allow that person to lead them to a good thing. Because even a guy in a who's not the most best guy in the world, so to speak, is still going to give you better advice than most women. So if you just allow them to jump into their natural roles, then they will definitely guide you a lot better than even the best intentioned women. And to jump on what Sky was saying, like, I think those are different things. And I think that that women view cheating in a really weird way. And this is gonna jump off topic. So let me know if you want to touch on this right now, Zach. Dak.
What you go for
Or
it?
so oh man, she about to catch me in a corner
You
one
talking
day.
about? So let's read what Shy wrote.
Yeah,
So
go
Shy
ahead.
wrote, okay, if you give the man everything, you're saying, and he's cheating on you, then what? This is my fear. So if you give a man everything and he's still cheating on you, that's your fear. So what? He's cheating on you.
See, I'm glad you
I
took
knew what
that. 'Cause
Tafari was going. And Shy, I'm joking. I'm joking a little bit.
I'm not.
No. I knew what Tafari was gonna say. Tafari and I, we used to have these conversations every day, so I knew where Tafari was going. But based on your comment, let me put it back up. Let me go the mature route, because the mature route is what Tafari was mentioning earlier on. We got to do a better job vetting. Now, culture has impacted all of us. Like I said, we've been brought up to be how we are. A lot of women have been brought up to be how they are. So we can't criticize women for thinking of the way that they think based on their upbringing and still want them to be held accountable if we're not going to also hold ourselves accountable to changing based on our upbringing. Like, we could sit here and say, like, yo, I grew up like this, like, like everything in society taught me to just be a womanizer. Everything taught me to do whatever it may be. That may be the case. I get what you're
Yeah, but
saying,
women
but
also taught us that.
it's just part of the vetting process. If you want a guy that is not going to cheat, is going to, whatever you decide to work out, you just have to make sure that you're accomplishing all those things in the vetting process. And there's a very easy way to do it. All you have to do is bring a guy in your life that you trust around that guy that is courting you or entertaining you, whatever they're doing, the dating, whatever, however y'all decide to do it. Bring that guy that you trust around that guy. We will be able to tell you in a second what type of person that guy is. It just is what it is. We'll be able to tell you. All we got to do is hang out. Like I said on the last show, we're not built to lie to men. Like, we get around men, it could be it could be my girlfriend's homeboy, and I'm gonna be a little cautious, you know what I'm saying, in certain stuff that I'm doing. But then we get comfortable to the point where it's like, yo, it is what it is. Like, you just think you could do whatever in front of your girls, and your girl shouldn't have no best friend that's no man. But that's a whole nother story. But y'all get what I'm saying.
Can I touch on this one real quick?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna get some flack for this one. All right, I'll put it like this. For men, and I know Sky is gonna lose her shit over this one, but for men, we will always appreciate home cooking. We will always go home and eat. The best places that we can find a meal is gonna be at home, always. Yeah, we might go get some fast food every now and then, but we still gonna appreciate home, right? For women, if they go out and they have fast food, then home ain't shit no more. They ain't coming back. So I think there's a complete difference when you talk about the cheating thing.
Oh,
There's a complete
100%.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a complete difference, because a dude will go out there and he might get a quick little fast food, you know what I'm saying? But that fast food don't mean nothing. He gonna shit that out the next day, right? But if a woman go get fast food, she ain't trying to come back home. So I think that she really got to categorize it in a different way. And also, and also, most of the time, and the biggest problem is that people fail to accept responsibility, right? Or accountability. So if you got a dude and you doing your part and he still goes out and cheat, more than likely it's because you wasn't really doing your part. You know what I mean? Like, we still, dudes are greedy. I'm not gonna front on that. Dudes are greedy. But a greedy dude is still gonna be like this, man. That McDonald's look good right now. I'm in the mood for something nasty right now, but nah, I'm gonna save my appetite for when I get home. Right? But if your food is consistently trash, then he's still gonna come home and eat. But he probably gonna pick up a little bit of fucking Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I allow me to. I'm gonna say that I disagree.
All right, talk.
But I'm gonna say for this reason, you can get any and everything that you want from a woman. A woman could be perfect. You could literally write out a list, and that woman be everything on that list. But if you're just not in the right mindset to be committed,
100%.
you're not going to be committed.
Talked about.
You're just going to be. You're always going to look at it like the only thing better than some current P is some new P. Like that always goes back. That's from The Best Man when Terrence Howard said that. And unfortunately, for a lot of us, that's the way that we think. So for a woman, to me, like you said, it goes back to the vetting process, because a lot of times if you providing perfection to somebody that just doesn't deserve it, or that's not what they're looking for, then it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. If a dude is not looking for the same things that you're looking for, is not looking for marriage, is not looking for commitment, then you could do all the amazing things. You're not going to change that person's mindset. They're still going to operate how they want to operate. So to me, it just always goes back to the vetting process. It goes back to the vetting. Now, everything that Tafari mentioned, I think that's going to give us the best opportunity for somebody who is willing to be committed, because let's be clear, it has become to the point where it's not natural for us men to just be committed, locked in on one person. It's never been natural. Maybe it's never been, but at least right now I'm saying that it's not natural. So therefore, if we're saying that it's not natural, then we got to have that understanding, I guess, that not that a woman should just let a guy cheat, but you just have to be very more intentional from the beginning. And for a guy that is not trying to cheat, that's willing to, you know what, this is what I'm looking for. Make sure you give that man perfection. Or as much as you can, pour into that man. Like the type of man that deserves it, because I see this a lot, to where the dudes that don't deserve it, they'll get stuff poured into them more than a lot of the guys that do deserve it. That's what I've seen, to where it's like, you'll treat your deadbeat. You know, this dude ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? But you'll still go after him. You'll have more effort trying to go after that deadbeat, the dude that ain't ish, rather than the dude that, checks a lot of the boxes, but I don't know, maybe he doesn't have the car, maybe he's not as exciting. I don't know what it may be. Go ahead, Far.
So I have a little suggestion for the ladies out there. All right. If the ladies who are actually doing their thing, and and if they still have a dude that cheats. So, like, I know y'all gonna blast me for this. A woman cheating is the worst thing in the world. So don't even think about a second chance for a woman cheating. But I honestly think that if a woman actually wants to reform her man on cheating, accept him back that one time, right? But really let him see how much he hurt you. Because if that man loves you and he cheated on you, and you really let him see how much that hurts you, and you still give him another chance, I can't speak for all men clearly, but I can say for a real man will never put you in a position to be hurt again. Sometimes they don't know how bad it is, but if a real man found out that he really hurts you, and he really loves you, and he really hurts you, and you still took him back, that dude will never cheat on you again. I honestly think that. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just saying, I honestly think that a real man, when he finds out how much he's hurt you, he will never do it again.
I think that there will. I don't know if based on a real man, yeah, I would say that.
Shut up, Ant.
There's not a lot of them out there, but even just a brother that's striving to be a good man, striving to become a real man. If you express that if you let them see how much you are hurt, there, to me, that's probably the best way to go about. I agree with you, because nobody wants to be hurting a good woman out here. We know what's a good woman and what's not. So the good women that we are.
I said a real man.
No. I'm agreeing with you, bro.
No, I'm talking about Ant. He's talking about some people that I'm talking about a real man, bro.
Hold on. Let me get to the chat. It's far. I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm messing with you. Some people cheat for different reasons, and sometimes it ain't even hurt. Yeah, it's for different reasons. Like, you just never know. Yeah, he would. He would. The gyro, yeah, he would. And Dak, can you please tell Dafari to stop yelling at me? You know how Dafari just speak. He like the Samuel L. Man.
I knew that was coming.
Just yelling like, bro, you good? No, but yeah, we just got to get married, bro. We just gotta make marriage cool, like we said, and start working towards. We got to see the good in being good. Like, we got to see the coolness in being good. We got to see the coolness in marriage and standing up and being like a stand-up father, a stand-up husband, a stand-up wife, a stand-up mother. We got to see the value in that. And until we really see the value in it, I don't think much will change. I think that it takes us too long to the point where we're almost, I don't want to say out of our prime, but we wait too long to address the issues. Like, we're waiting too long to learn how to vet. We're waiting too long to where we're already putting ourselves in positions to where, Tafari, you talked about starting the race behind. You know, we're starting the race of real life behind, because we don't take life seriously, you know, until like our 30s and stuff. Quick? Yeah, please.
Like, what I was trying to express to you about that whole thing, what I meant, when he was saying that, is that I don't believe in it, right? And no open marriage, forget all that. But anyway, she nah. But because I don't share with nobody. Nah. It doesn't work the same, bro.
I threw him all off, Baz.
He threw me all off with that one, because I'm like, yo, here's the thing. The difference is, if a man have a bunch of women, then you know whose child it is. If a woman have a bunch of men, you don't know whose child it is. That makes a big damn difference. You know what I mean? So I don't believe in that open marriage bullshit at all. Nah. But anyway, what was I saying? Damn, I forgot.
So you believe in open marriage just for you, not for your lady?
No, I think that men, because we have the ability to create more life more often than women do.
It's science. You can't argue with science.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh man, I know they all have their middle fingers up to us right now, like this F y'all dudes.
That's to you, not me.
True.
Now let me stop.
Hey man, I'll take.
We both used to it. Used to it. But yeah. So yeah, all right, real quick. So wanted to move on to show y'all this video.
I'm gonna listen on the other side. I gotta run.
All right, bro. I'll see you. Appreciate you tapping in.
I appreciate you having me, brother.
You already, bro. All right. So there was a couple other videos that I wanted to show y'all. Where do I want to go? All right. So sticking on this topic, actually, I think we wore this one out. We wore this one out. All right. So let me go to, where's my man, the Don at? Free Trump. Where's Trump at? Is he right here? There we go. There he goes. There he goes. All right, real quick, just take a listen to this.
To avoid paying personal federal income taxes.
Of course.
That's not it. There it is.
I will keep men out of women's sports. You saw the other day the weightlifter and this young woman, 19-year record. Well, I don't know what it is, 200 and some odd pounds. It's a lot. And this record stood, woman's record, for years, 19 years or something. Then a guy came along who happens to be a woman now, according to the laws of our country. And he looked at it. They said, have you lifted before? Not really. Let's take a look. He looks at it, goes, he has the record by like 90 pounds or something like that. It is so stupid. It is so unfair. I will keep men out of women's sports. You saw the other day the weightlifter and this.
That's the topic. So shout out to Texas and Bez down in Texas. So Texas actually, they banned transgender women from competing in women's sports. I really just brought this topic up as a reminder to how crazy life can be if we don't take certain stands. We are literally debating on whether or not a man, a biologically born man, should compete with women. Like, that's the world that we live in today. That's the world that we live in today. And I'm not sure if a lot of y'all have seen like a lot of the polls when it comes to Black support, American support in general, when it comes to Biden or Trump. I think it's a huge telltale sign of when you see the numbers dwindling. Like, I think right now it's 20% of Black people are supporting Trump. And I think Biden's has dropped like drastically, 20 to 30%. And it's because of things like this. It's because of common sense videos like what Trump just did. And people are getting away from a lot of these radical, just weird policies and weird agendas that, in my opinion, a lot of liberals and Democrats are pushing. So I just wanted to bring that up, to kind of just, hopefully have a conversation with y'all, but more so just to kind of show y'all what's happening. We all hear it. But this is the reason why the Democrats and the liberals are losing support. They're losing support because they're literally encouraging a lot of this craziness, with the LGBTQ, all these things across the board. And shout out I just wanted to, give a quick shout out to Texas for them being, I think, one of the first states. I think there's 2 states now that have officially banned, transgender women from competing in women's sports. But this is going to continue to be a trend. And I'm calling it out right now that I wouldn't be surprised if by the time the election came, if Trump does end up being the nominee, that number of 20%, the 20% of the Black vote going to Trump, I would not be surprised if it was closer to 40. I'm calling it right now. I would not be surprised if it's closer to 40 for the reasons that Bez just named. For some of them, we don't play down in the Southwest. They don't play that. Now y'all right next to y'all, they play that in Cali. Right next to y'all. But it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. In my opinion, it should be banned. It's just we've gotten to a point where we even have to discuss the craziness. That it's just wild. Like, we're talking about men competing. It literally is Joanna Man. But I want to go back to real quickly what Bez commented. We don't leave any comment unread. So if I didn't read your comment, make sure that you let me know. But Bez wrote that everybody wants control or possession of another being. And that's regarding, the relationship, Tafari's comments, not wanting to open marriage and all these things. I got a question, Bez, and I got a question for everybody. Can you take responsibility for something that you can't control? Like, seriously. I'm thinking about it myself as I'm asking you. But can you take responsibility for something that you can't control? Because I'm not sure if you saw the video that we put up from Wednesday, Bez, but it was, hold on. No need to. No need to assume. I'll show you right here. So this video was discussing this exact topic. We going back to it just for a sec. I got to show y'all this. I want to ask you though, Bez, can you take responsibility for somebody or something that you can't control, that you have no control over?
How do you expect a man to protect what he has no authority over? Yes, I said authority. See, as a married woman, I recognize that my husband is the head and leader of this house, and what comes with being a leader is authority. I submit to him and allow him to have authority over me because I trust that he knows what's best for me. But right now,
and I didn't want to play the whole video because we already got into that last time, and we already been wearing it out. But my that would be my only question to you, because I think even from a standpoint, when you think about religion is control. Religion is control. So when we think about what are the solutions to society, what are the solutions to the problems that we have, we are an out of control society. We are out of control. So how do we bring more control into society? How do we bring more guidance, more leadership? There has to be a certain level of control there, I would think. So is control, like when we say, you know, from the relationship aspect, the leader is going to be in more control. It just is what it is. So as a man, if you want to identify as a leader, then don't you have to be in control of something? That would be my question. Bez wrote, Cali is its own country. But yeah, so those are the questions that I would ask. And like I said, I just wanted to show that Trump video to more so just make a little prediction as far as how I see things going. I didn't even realize that we're already past 10. So we're going to get into this next topic that I've termed Friendly Fridays. Friendly Fridays, where we just show appreciation for different things or different people in our lives. And it came about because I'm a firm believer that the things that we appreciate, even as we go through life, the things that we're smiling about, the things that it's almost like we're putting out that this is what we like. You know what I mean? Like it's letting the universe know, hey, this is what we like when you show appreciation to a particular thing. So it's very important for me to show appreciation to the things that I would like in my life and the people that are already living those things. So before, you heard me, show appreciation to Queez all the time. And we'll definitely continue to do so. But I've shown appreciation even when we did with, recognizing Steve and Britt getting married over the weekend. But I want to just show appreciation for, I'm not sure if you know, but my college roommates. So my college roommates, I had 3 college roommates. Noob, Mario Nubi was my first roommate. Noob, shout out to DuPont 105, And then I had Jan and Rel. So Terrion and Rel. Some of y'all Queez, I know you know them. They are both married, leading families. Jan's an entrepreneur. Terrell, entrepreneurial, works in corporate, Google, great career. These brothers are doing things very well. And I think that it's important, when we have these type of conversations, especially like the conversation that we're having today, for us to recognize the people that are actually living it. It's one thing for, even, me, or a lot of us to sit on here and have these conversations about what we think it should be or what we think we can be or what, we plan on doing. But to actually see people that are doing it, nothing is more important than that, than actually being the example. When Queez talks about it starts with me, that's actually taking that next, step to, okay, all right, well, you think this is the solution. Well, shoot, why are you not married? Why don't you get married? So I think that the more that we show appreciation for those things, it's going to hold us accountable, as well as force us to grow, or not force us to grow, but to see the benefits in turning into that person that we know that we can be, that we know that we should be, and really just kind of taking that leap of faith to go in there. So just wanted to shout out my roommates, Jan, Rel, really doing their thing in life, really leading their families. It's appreciated, it's recognized, And I think we need to celebrate more and more of those type of relationships and those type of people. Obviously, not just celebrating Jan and Rel, but celebrating their wives as well. So shout out to Grace, shout out to Danielle as well. And yeah, just wanted to share that with y'all. And hold on, let me before we head out, let me make sure that I'm paying attention to what Bez G wrote. And Bez wrote, "No, you can't. You can't take responsibility for your handsome looks, brown skin, etc. If I have kids and they want to kill, I can't take responsibility for their actions." I disagree, but I understand what you're saying. I disagree that I think that actually when you have kids, you need to take responsibility for their actions, because regardless of whether you can control their actions or not, when you take responsibility for them, you are going to control them in some aspects. You may not be able to 100% control them, but you're going to influence everything. That's the whole point of having a father in our lives, because we know that not having a father in our lives is going to impact in a particular way that's going to be negative for a lot of us. So for me, my mindset is to take responsibility for my kids when I have them, and responsibility for their actions. So therefore, I'm more likely to pour into them and to want to mold them into having productive actions in society and moving in a positive way, rather than just saying, like, you know, if they want to kill, they're going to kill. I don't, but I'm here for it. Like you said, nobody knows until they actually get in those positions. But I just feel that regardless of who your kid is, our job is, the things that we take responsibility over, is to lead as much as we can. You know, to lead as much as we can. Obviously, people are their own, people, so they're going to make their own decisions. They're going to make their own actions. However, having that certain level of influence, I think that we have to accept that and be responsible for it, and make sure that we're doing everything that we can to control that environment, to make it at least an environment that's going to be conducive to our kids, being successful as they grow up. So that's how I would look at it. I think I understand what you're saying, but I just look at it a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. They the illest. F with them bros. Oh yeah, Baz, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot Baz here. Yeah, Baz, shoot. You probably been around them as much as anybody. But definitely, yeah, it's a certain level of appreciation that I think needs to be there. And perhaps it's funny. I'm as I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, there needs to be a certain level of that. That's a lot of the therapy that we talk about, that I think that we should be having. Not necessarily going to see a therapist. I'm not really a fan of that. But being able to have that within our family and our friends and the people, especially that we look up to in certain areas, I think that's definitely something that we should be taking advantage of. So not to bash on therapists, I just have my own opinion on it, but I'm sure y'all have heard it in the past, or maybe you haven't. Maybe we'll touch on it, but just wanted to leave y'all there. So we'll save the Dion, and we'll save some of these other combos that we're going to have for Monday. And yeah, we're going to take our, hold on, let me make sure. All right, hold on, let me make sure. All right, so Bez wrote, "No, I'm not saying don't teach, lead, etc., but they are their own person, is my point. They have to deal with consequences that come from it." Yeah, facts. I get that. 100%. 100%. You can't assume responsibility based on, oh, my kid did this. All right, now I'm going to go do time for them. They did something to go get arrested. Nah, they got to go do that. It just is life. So everybody, let's make sure that for 30 seconds, y'all know what we do. We can't leave without 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's just, moving off of the conversation that we've already had this entire time. How do we become an agent of change? How do we become the person that is going to inspire and lead and hold people accountable? How are we going to be the person in our lives? We all have those friends that sometimes we don't even like being around, because we know that there's just a certain standard that we're going to be held accountable to, just based on how they move and how they act in life. So for the next 30 seconds, let's just envision what change we are going to be and what change we're going to become. So 30 seconds. All right, let's wrap it up. Got your 30 seconds in. Appreciate y'all. Man, they messing up my team. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Y'all know what we do. Onward and upward, strength and honor. We elevate on purpose. That's both with intent as well as making sure that we're staying on our purpose and doing the things that we need to do, that we're called here to do, the change that we're called to bring, and that we're always very intentional with that. And yeah, y'all know, get to the bag, finish up this week. All right, finish up this week. Do what you said you were gonna do, so that way you can look at yourself and know that you are exactly who you say that you are. All right, so with that, I'll see y'all. Have a good weekend. And yeah, obviously when we say get to the bag, I left out the get to the bag with integrity, but y'all know how we do. Enjoy your weekend. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for real. And let's continue to become the best versions of ourselves. And with that, I'll see y'all Monday. Ew.